do it.
But yeah, especially when it's like he just has like a normal job.
Yeah.
So like it wouldn't be like he doesn't give a fuck if this pops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No,
it's-
he had the same thing where he's like, he always wanted to do one because he think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And that's usually when things go off too. We're like,
Yeah.
These look good. Yeah, so far. But that's usually when things go off because like you don't care. You're not trying
Right.
for it to work, so it's just your genuine self.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if that switch flips from like I don't need to do this,
That's
you don't put any effort into it.
that
It's
was
like
the
a
worst
fine
part
balance.
of it. Yes, and that's what I try to do with comedy too. Is like
You're doing this for fun.
no. Not even.
Not even.
I mean, it's fun. Like,
Yeah.
just the fact that, like, that's the reason why, like, you get into it. And that's
Yeah.
why you, like, I was telling, like, a couple of people from work came to, like, the fucking, what, Laughing Tap.
Oh,
Came
yeah,
to
yeah.
Laughing Tap Mike. And they were like, after you, it was like a real fall off. And I was like, yeah, dude, it's an open mic. It's supposed to be bad. Like,
This is where people don't understand. Like that's practice.
that's where work is.
Yeah.
I was talking to Brandon Wine about it because he was like, yeah, summer is like really a grind. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a grind, but like this is when you put the work in for like the fall and winter when like all the fun, like the fun is real shows.
Yeah.
Like open mics are work. Like I see, and it's fun to like have fun and dick off and like, and I do it too because it's an open mic. Fuck it. But like, that's where I'm working. Like I'm clocking in, I do my time, and then I leave. Like
Sometimes I'm kind of with you on that one where I'm like, I don't need to stay the whole time.
No.
I'm like, I clock in, clock out. But it is also nice to hang around with some people for a
oh
while.
yeah, for sure.
But they're also nice where like we both still have real jobs. Like I got to be up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I can't be drinking with everyone right now until on a Tuesday.
Well, there are
11.
there are times where I have to be up at fucking 3:45 in the morning because I work at a goddamn coffee shop, but I mean it gives me like the flexibility to like I'm gonna be gone for half of September,
Yeah, that's sweet.
and it's just like I don't like I'm still gonna have a job, don't have to use I'm not gonna get paid for it, but I don't have to use vacation time, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Wait, explain that entire road trip again to me.
So
Starting in California, right?
I'm flying to LA. So me and are we recording this part? Okay.
We've been recording
That's
basically the
fine.
whole
I
time.
know we were checking. It doesn't matter.
That's how I like to start because then it's just natural.
Yeah, just
Instead of
use
maybe
the-
like ready, go.
cut it off right like when I use the N word.
Yeah.
Cut it off right after that. No, I'm
This is gonna be a 5-minute podcast.
I didn't say the last time. I said the first time. But no. So like my buddy Tyler Ross, who lives in Chicago now. I met him. So I started in Kent, Ohio, and he's like from there, and that's where he started. So he moved to Chicago like I think 5 or 6 years ago. And it's just like your buddies that you stay in touch with. And he's like full-time working the road all the time now. So I'll text him from time to time and be like, yo, my September's dry. Do you have like a run that I can get on? And I just hit him up and I was like, my September and October look like shit right now. And I need to like, I just feel like stagnant when that happens. Like I haven't been doing the work. All the places that I email all the time are just like, we're full for the rest of the year. So I'm flying out to LA to meet him out there. He has a wedding in Vegas. And then he also does these like cool apartment shows. So like an apartment complex like this, and a lot of them in their leases, they have like, you have to have so many like entertainment nights. So he like will do, it's called Put On Events. I'm a big commercial just for Tyler Ross right now, but it's called Put On Events. They come, they do a comedy show. It's all good people. But it's usually like, because a band is like way more expensive than running a comedy night. So he goes and does that. So like he has one of those in LA, and then he'll just like book shit around that and like do a run. So I'm meeting him in LA. We're doing 2 nights LA, 1 night outside of Reno. Then we're going up to Boise, then down to Salt Lake City, then up to Billings, Montana, North Dakota, then Minneapolis, then down through Wisconsin again. Fuck. It's going to be so much.
It's gonna be a lot. I bet it's like, but that's stuff when you look back on it, like this shit was fun.
And that's where it's like, it's going to be, I've been to California when I was a kid, but I've like never been to like, there's no reason for me to go to fucking Montana. Like I'm not a billionaire. I'm not trying to like tax shelter and like by
And you're
Buffalo.
not trying to like get off the grid either.
No, well, this weekend, but like,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I'm not like running from.
Door County,
Yeah,
that's
I'm not running from the law. Like, I
Yeah.
don't need to like get a horse farm or whatever.
It'd be fun. Everyone's like, it'd be so fun to have. You have friends or like one day I just want to like own a barn and like horses and chickens and just. I'm like, no, you don't.
But those
Like,
people have it figured out. Like, I mean, yes, it's a lot of work, but like, don't you kind of just like respect the like
lifestyle?
Like the lifestyle of like the Republicans who like they have their one house and like their 800 yards or like whatever it is, acres.
Yeah, 800 yards.
You can tell I'm really kicking into this lifestyle. But like they just like wake up, they just have to worry about their shit. They have to keep like everything alive, and then like that's their life. And then
It's a very humble, respectful life.
yeah.
No, the people that can do it,
yeah.
absolutely. I'm talking about the people who like our age that live in the city. Like,
No.
I thought I'm older. Like, I think I'm just gonna like retire to a barn and like raise chickens and goats. I'm like, you can barely do your own laundry.
Yeah.
You're not gonna keep a group of chickens.
You're not going to
together.
retire either.
Exactly.
Retirement doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, unless this works out, you're not retiring.
Dude, like that's my every time I'll do like those like shows up in Rhinelander and like up in like northern Wisconsin. Every time I'm up there, it's like if I just had like enough money to have a helicopter, this would be like the perfect spot to have like a weekend house or something.
Oh yeah.
Like there's nobody, and because it's
If I
want
had a helicopter.
Yeah.
Fuck the 4-hour drive.
No, yeah, fuck that. Like it's a perfect spot. Like you can just go, you can unplug for the weekend, you can hunt, fish, whatever the fuck. I don't do either of those things, but like I'll go sit at a lake.
Dry.
Yeah, I'll just stare at a lake, just hit some mushrooms, stare at a lake, and then
Something
go back
about a
on
lake
Monday.
is so calming. Way more calming than the ocean, I think. But that's because we grew up around lakes.
I think that's what it is like lakes and rivers. I've become like a real river guy lately. Like just, and especially if I've got time to kill, I'll just like
real
go.
white trash.
Well, yeah. I mean, but I also grew up by like a river too, so it's like, I mean, that's where you like take chicks to make out at is down by the river. Like that's where like you go to like smoke weed is over by the river because worst case scenario you jump in. Like,
You
the
just
cops.
wrote like the beginning of a country song.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, this is how we make millions of dollars. But
Absolutely.
but that's what. Like the ocean's scary. Like it's just so big.
That's the thing is like when I look at a lake, I think everyone here has been like, if I just was dropped off in the middle, could I make it to shore? Yes,
Yeah.
I could make it to shore. I mean, it's going to be tiring and exhausting, but you could make it to shore. Someone dropped you in the middle, you're dead.
Not Lake Michigan though.
Not Lake Michigan, yeah.
So I like grew up in like the suburbs of Toledo, which is like by Lake Erie, which is like fine. It's big. It's whatever. It's one of the Great Lakes,
Yeah.
but it's like, then you're always like, oh, Superior and Michigan are so much bigger. And then you'd like go, like anytime I'd be in Cleveland or whatever, you like look and just the horizon's fucking water.
Yeah.
That's how it like, but here it's just like, it's forever.
Yeah.
Like you're never, if you're dropped in that lake, you're fucked.
Oh, absolutely. That I've had friends that go fishing out there, and they're like, "Dude, we went too far. It scared the shit out of me."
It's an ocean. It's basically like a sea or an ocean.
Yeah.
But like just a normal like we went to Mirror Lake not too long ago. Just did like some kayaking
Where's
over there.
that?
It's west somewhere. I don't know.
Cool.
Like I didn't grow the Google Maps took
There's
me.
a lot of things west of us.
Yeah, my girlfriend looked it up. Google Maps took me there. I don't even try. Like since I've moved to Milwaukee, people will be like I'll tell them where Laughing Tap is. I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's by Hamburger Mary's, and they'll be like, what neighborhood
I'm
is that
terrible.
in?
I'm a big
Fuck if I know.
what's it like monument direction guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a
No.
north, south, east, west.
Or what
I'll-
street is
I'll
this
point.
on?
Yeah. I'm getting better with streets the longer I've lived down here. I've only lived down here for 4 months though.
Okay.
So I'm still learning. I don't know what street Laughing Tap is
No.
on. In my head, people are like, where is it? I'm like, you know where the clock tower, like the
Yeah.
Rockwell clock tower is? It's towards that.
Yeah, it's in that. It's by
It's in
in.
that you could
that's-
throw a rock.
Well, and
at-
that's
yeah.
what I'm like, Hamburger Mary's, and they're like, "What's that?" And I was like, "It's a burger place I ate at once. That it says it's famous on the wall, so I assume everybody around here knows." Like,
I've never heard of it.
yeah, that's like,
That's like world's best coffee.
well, it's basically like a gay bar that makes hamburgers. So like and I was gonna go to the Laughing Tap the first time, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get there too early because that's just what I do, and I'll like find somewhere to eat, like what's a good burger spot or something, and it said Hamburger Mary's. It's like sick, whatever. So I like walk in, and there's like gay pride flags everywhere, and I was like, okay, cool, like gay, like everybody's
This
happy.
is how I'm gonna tell everyone where Laughing Tap is from now on.
Yeah, like
Gay burger bar.
You get your meat and some buns, but no, you're just like it was like, all right, cool, because it's happened to me like 1,000 times. It's not to be like that. Oh, I stumbled into a gay bar, but like it happened in Cleveland. It was best chicken wings I've ever had was at a gay bar in Cleveland. It's gone now, but like you walk and you're like, oh, cool, gay pride flags, like they're about it, like it's 2022, like everybody's about it. And then you just like sit there and like drag queens start coming out of nowhere and like setting up for drag queen bingo, which is like the most, if you think an open mic is depressing, watching somebody in half drag makeup, like they're just like in the unitard, but they haven't like glammed up yet. Yeah. Like you seeing them set up just like mad carrying a table in a leotard. Like imagine setting up an open mic with your dick sandwiched between your legs. Like how mad you would be. Like you don't even
like
the glamorous
3 people
part.
show up.
Yeah.
All comics.
Just right.
It's 3 other drag people that host it as well.
Yeah. But like they're setting it up, and I was like, oh, like this is like a real like gay establishment. Okay, cool. And I was just like, the burgers were fine.
What do you think is the ideal food for a gay bar? Not even a gay bar, like a gay restaurant.
Yeah.
Like what is the most what do you think the most stereotypical food, or do you think they'd be best at?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Corn dogs would be a good one. Like a gay carnival restaurant.
Gay carnival restaurant?
Because there's something like if we're going purely off of stereotypes,
yeah,
here,
strictly
not
off
ones that
stereotypes.
we created, not ones that we believe in.
No, we're here to get canceled.
There's something.
You made it past the 5 minutes. I'm proud of you.
Did. But like we like funnel cakes. Like there's something like fair food is just kind of the gayest food if you think about it. Cream puffs, especially if you're Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Cream puffs, corn dogs, just phallic shaped.
So is Wisconsin State Fair gay?
Funnel cakes, they got powder all over them. Powdered sugar just kind of seems fabulous.
I feel like a caramel apple is kind of gay.
Loosely.
Yeah.
Nothing better
With
to bite
nuts all
into.
over,
Yeah. So like, I mean, it makes sense. Which
I like it.
Yeah.
So carnival food.
Carnival food.
Food of the gays.
Food. Yeah.
That's not gonna go well.
I mean, whatever.
Did you go to the fair at all?
No, fuck no.
No.
I grew up in like a town that like was right outside of a county fair, so like I went 1,000 times as a kid. So like this one's just gonna be bigger and more expensive. No thanks.
I go every year with my mom just to try the new foods. And I asked my
the new like, is there like an upgrade to
no,
fucking
they have like
fried Oreos?
Here they have something called Sporkies, so they have like finalists of like the best new things that they came out with. So like instead of like a burger in between 2 Krispy Kremes, there's a hot dog in between 2 Krispy Kremes. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat that. Like
No.
you pick and choose what you think sounds good.
Do you put it in like? Do you just put it in the holes? Like
I don't know. I didn't try it. It's just like 9 donuts. But
just a sandwich.
I was like, because some of them were terrible.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, how are you a finalist? There's a lot of things with bugs on it.
Nice.
I'm like, they're
That's the
running
food of
out
the future, dude.
They're running out of things to do. And I was like, Mom, if you had to pick a food to like, if you could create a fair food, what would yours be?
I mean, I wish you had asked me this a week ago so I could prep.
Yeah, that's the fun of it. Like real quick, like a Wisconsin fair food.
Oh, obviously cheese is involved. Obviously it's got to be fried. I mean, cheese curds already exist.
Yeah, but like that was the thing. Like one of the finalists was like batter infused cheese curds. I'm like, they were terrible.
That doesn't even make sense. But like, I
Yeah.
could see like a corn dog with like cheese curd batter. Like, I don't know if you could just like cover it in cheese and then fry it.
It's not bad.
Something like that.
I think that one of the most Wisconsin things you could do if you did like a Wisconsin kebab. So instead of like, you know, like a normal kebab is like chicken, vegetables, tomato. It was like cheese curd, brat, jalapeno popper, whatever. It's just like a smorgasbord.
Do you guys claim the jalapeno popper?
I don't know, but there was a lot of jalapeno popper things this year.
I think jalapeno poppers are like TGI Fridays. I think Fridays owns that, and
I like jalapeno poppers.
I
They're
do
good.
too.
They're really good. Do you like them deep fried and like breaded, or just half like I like the grilled ones too. They're like just covered in bacon, just the jalapeno and some cream cheese inside. I don't need it fried.
Either way,
Yeah.
I mean, but it's got to be because I'm not like a super spicy fan. Like I like heat,
Take
but I
the
don't
seeds
like.
out?
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
take the seeds out, and then it's
Maybe
fine.
put the heat in the cream cheese kind of thing.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea.
See, we just started a restaurant. We had a
Exactly.
country song.
We got a restaurant, country song. We haven't said any bad words yet.
Pretty much.
Did we start? We started 2 restaurants. We started our menu, and we've created the menu of the gays.
If Selena Gomez gets the hang of this one too, I want you to know we want you involved instantly.
You can be the face.
Can we do Selena Gomez real quick? I don't know why.
Yeah.
So I've been very scatterbrained. I'm on new like meds for my
You're
ADHD, but Selena Gomez is involved with my favorite YouTube video of all time. It was on like Tosh.0 100 years ago, and it's like the creep. It's called Creepy Guy Talks About Selena Gomez, and it's like this creepy dude with like a microphone like this standing in front of a blank white wall, and he's got like these shitty glasses, and he goes, "Selena Gomez, am I in love with her? Yes." Like, just like, and there's 2 of them, and like it's the funniest. Like he'll just be like, "Selena Gomez, she controls my heart." Like. And it's like just
he's talking to a wall.
Just talking to straight dead into the camera, like and the walls behind him, and it is just
so
like.
If I took the couch away and you did that, we could recreate this.
Oh, this has been loosely one of my dreams to like
recreate it.
But it's one of those like niche videos that like I reference it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like me, my girlfriend, and maybe like 3 people. Maybe Selena Gomez might know what it was. Like if it reached her, because that guy's probably on like a watch
my
list.
shit reached her. That probably reached her if it was on Tosh.0.
So how did that happen? Is that just like the magic of TikTok of like that segment got picked up by other people and then it just kind of went?
Yeah, it was by no means. Like I had people be like, "Dude, congrats, it's awesome. Keep working." And I'm like, that was dumb luck.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Now, is it a product of me constantly putting stuff out and one of them finally hit? Kinda.
Yeah.
But that video before had a couple 100,000 views, and for the sound alone.
Yeah.
Like there was a few thousand people that used it. And that video came out in March of this year.
Okay.
And it was the first podcast I did in this apartment, actually, with my roommate, because I had no one to ask to do it. Still brand new at this. I'm like, I'm not going to ask any comics to do it. And then my buddy texted me 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, just a video of Selena Gomez, and the other message hadn't come through yet. I'm like, why are you sending me this, Joe? And he goes, dude, it's you. I like just dropped everything at work. I go, no fucking way.
That's wild.
It was wild. It's just one of those things where I think some people, the way they create TikToks is like they look for the voiceovers. So I guess mine popped up. I mean, if a few thousand people use it, it's fairly popular.
Yeah.
And I guess mine popped up. She used it. And, I mean, it alone did nothing. I mean, I think what it did is it put my account into, like, whatever Chinese algorithm TikTok has. And so I took advantage of it. I was like, I'm going to post what I think is what I found the most entertaining video I have, which I did. And that blew up, which is how I think most of, like, the recent success came from. But it was cool. Like, I honestly have no clue how she found it. Well, if she found it, if someone on her team found it, was like, you should do this.
Yeah, and well, that's like that's why I think I've aged out of TikTok. My Instagram, my social media is terrible because I do like the old school, like when I grew up, because I'm 32. So like when the internet came out, like E-Bombs World, YouTube barely existed. Like it was like, what's the most niche thing you can think of that other people will know? And that was kind of like before like the algorithms took over and was like, what's going to be the thing that climbs and gets people to stay on their phone the longest? It was like, it was almost like that perfect, like, oh, this is where I'm going to go to talk about Selena Gomez random video. Like, and then that catches instead of like, oh, Selena Gomez did it, so other people are going to want to do it. We got to put that forward. So, like, it's really cool when something like that catches instead of, like, those people who are like, oh, this is a trend sound. Let me get some, like, random views out of it. Yeah. Where you're just like, I'm just going to do my shit, and then it pops. Like, and that's fun.
Yeah, it feels – because I'm not going to be the one that does voiceovers or anything like that. I'm just putting these clips out that I find entertaining. Yeah. It just so happened that it caught. Yeah. And I couldn't ask for, like, a better person to do it besides maybe, like, D'Amelio.
Yeah.
But I mean, I said in one of the podcasts I did with Avery, like my dad texted me because I put it all over my Instagram story. I'm like, this is cool. Like I can be proud of this one. And he goes, do you know the girl in your Instagram story? He goes, if so, that's cool. If not, still cool.
Like, one of the most famous people over the last 20 years.
Yeah, and then later he goes, I know who Selena Gomez is. I just didn't recognize her. I was like, okay.
Knows the name. Hey, Selena Gomez, sorry about the lupus. Hope that's going well.
Way to look out for her well-being.
Hey, man. Like, I'm like, it's one of those things where, like.
What's lupus?
It's something, something that Selena Gomez is working really hard to make awareness for. So I know it's a thing, and I know she has it. And I'm sorry, but
so where we need someone to be like Googling it over here.
Yeah, I think it's when you turn into a werewolf at night. But no, that's
no Wizard. She did Wizards of Waverly Place.
But Wizards. But she's also on. I'm a big fan of Only Murders in the Building.
There's a lot of people that have been telling me to watch that lately, and I haven't watched it.
It's one of those like, because it's got Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez in it. And it's like all based around like a true crime podcast. Mm-hmm. And so like I thought that it was going to, and it's on Hulu. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is going to be the most corny bullshit. Mm-hmm. And so we watched episode 1, and at the end of it, I was like, motherfucker. Like this thing rules. It's so good.
All right, I got to watch it now. I have to. I'm afraid to get into shows.
Yeah. There's too much shit.
I'm afraid to get into shows. And it's like, well, mainly because I don't want to waste my time. Like today I got up, went to work, got here, showered, doing this immediately. Like if I get it, because I have a little bit of an addictive personality, mm-hmm. where I'll be at work and be like, if I have downtime in the office, I can just put it on. I'm like, that's not productive. I could be editing this instead. Mm-hmm. I know if I'm not into a show, I'll get more work done.
Well, and that's like I can't play video games anymore. Like I almost got kicked out of college. Like before video games were like a career.
Yeah.
Like I almost got kicked out of college because I was failing because the internet was so good that I would just play NCAA 09 like online.
Basketball or football?
Football,
okay.
Like I played against the number 1 ranked dude and only lost by like a couple touchdowns. I was pretty excited about it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. And like, but that was also the year that like you had to like pass tests and keep your GPA up and shit. Mm-hmm. So I was like working on my player's GPA while skipping class. Like it was just like a wild dichotomy. And
you were working on a computer program, GPA, not your own.
No, fuck it. Like whatever. And so now if I get a new video game, like the last new video game I got was when we moved here and I didn't have a job. And I was like, you can only look for a job for so long, like in the day. Like I've got
it wears you out looking for work.
I'll do it, and I found one pretty quick, but I had like 2 weeks without a job. And I was like, I'm going to buy a video game, and I'm going to do everything. Like, that's just what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And
I did that, too, in the pandemic. I bought Assassin's Creed, and now I didn't finish it, but now I don't have time. I'm like, the PlayStation isn't even plugged in.
I, I threw mine on. We watched Grease the other day. That's the reason why we plugged it back in. But, like, I threw it on and tried to play, and I was like, this is whatever. Who cares? Like, I can't get invested in it.
Something clicked, and I've said it on here before, something clicked in me in college because I like video games. Mm-hmm. Video games are fun, like the concept. I enjoy them.
Yeah,
and it's nice. For me, it's a Sunday thing. It's raining. Like I have an excuse not to go outside. I'll play one maybe, but I'll play 30 minutes and then I go, this isn't benefiting me at all. And I think it clicked with Call of Duty stuff. So when I really liked video games, like MW2, everyone did that, and then I just looked at the game. I go, what is the purpose of this? Like, I beat the story, and then you're just doing online. Okay. I was like, okay, I'm going online to play strangers. All I'm trying to do is kill them to get experience, to get a new gun that sounds the same as the gun I was using before, just looks a little different, to get the next one, They all sound the same, regardless of maybe you change the scope, and then you get to the highest level, and you're like, it'd be fun if I did it again. And it's just a constant loop. I'm like, you're going nowhere.
Well, now you have to, buy, because
it's a hamster wheel.
What's the fucking, the real big one? The,
Fortnite?
Yes. I tried playing it because at first you're just like whatever. It's like bubbly, like. Cause
Never played
Gears
a game of
War.
Fortnite in my life.
It's
Proud to
fun.
say that.
It's perfectly fine. It's just like there's too many people who are too good at it already. And that was my thing with like Call of Duty is like, and I know that they do like the ranking system and like, because I used to play Halo online all the time and like on old school Xbox, like,
Yeah.
so when you like do like the butter knife mod and all that crazy shit, like, so we would play it then, but they did a good job of like matching you like in your weight class, where like, and I know people who like purposely, God, what was the other one? You could play it on PUBG. It's like another.
I know it's a really big game,
Yeah.
but I couldn't even tell you what it looked like.
So it's like Fortnite, but like before, or like it was the same idea as Fortnite, but like you basically just like more realistic.
Okay.
And so like you get on there, but like people have been playing it for far too long. And like there's people who will have like alternate accounts, so like they have like their main one where they're playing like high level shit, but to like practice and like squads and shit, like they just want like beginner level stuff to like try new stuff. And you're just like, this isn't even fun. Like just turning it on and just dying 100 times
immediately. Yeah, I knew I couldn't do those games anymore. It was when you do like the kill cams, like who killed you.
Yeah.
And then their screen is moving like this fucking fast, and my sensitivity's on like medium, and I'm going like this. So I can't keep up. You know what? My brother still plays it, and he's like, some people like that's just their vice. Like that's how they relax at the end of the night, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's the same thing as watching Friends for the 19th time. But he's like unreal at video games, like tournaments and shit like that. And I find enjoyment watching him sometimes. I'm like, dude, how do you know this guy's there? Like he's one of those guys where if I logged on now and he killed me right away, I'd be like, I'm fucking done. Like, this man is too good, but it's like he's using the mouse and just, like, throws it that way and does, like, 360, kills, like, 12 people.
Well, these people, like, they, like, know the maps. Like, they do it so much where they know. And, I mean, there was a time.
It's a quick twitch, too. It's actually quite a skill.
Yeah. No, like, I would never shit on anybody. Like, I knew that I was done with video games. Because, like, there's, like, right when it started getting, like, popular and, like, people started getting paid for it, I was like, I used to do this shit all the time. Let's put some energy into it. But, like, I played with my buddy and just, like, where his, like, sight, like, line of sight, like, was standard to, like, headshots. And I was like, oh, so we're just, like, completely different worlds now. Like, you'd made that small adjustment that I would have never thought of. Like, I'm done. Like, if that's, like, and you're decent, like, what's somebody who's really good gonna do?
Yeah, no, it's just, my big thing is I can't, and after 30 minutes, I'm like, I just wasted so much time. So much time.
Well, and getting set up and then, like, getting into, like, the zone, and especially with, like, some games, like, you have to, like, if you haven't played for a while, like Grand Theft Auto 5.
Learning it, yeah.
Like, I wasted so much time in Grand Theft Auto 5, but, like, you're just, like, in it. Like, go home, or go to work, come home, and you're just, like, plugged in, like, and then for, like, the first 20 minutes, you're, like, getting back into, like, all right, this is how I do this is how I do that, and then you're just, like, all right, now I'm in. And then, like, what do you, like, the rest of you don't sleep well afterwards because your fucking brain's all firing.
Well, it's also, like, you can't help but think it's when people get into, like, those ones, like, that's the version of themselves they want to be.
Yeah.
Because if you go straight from work, where you go to, like, pay to survive, and you go right into a virtual world, and you don't do anything with yourself, I'm like, are you even happy with, and I don't, like, not trying to say it's bad to do it, but I'm like, there is something to say. I'm like, if you're not socializing, you're just building that character, it's not great.
I mean, that's what comedy.
That's fair. That's fair. No, I tell stories about my life. I'm a good person. I like who I am.
I mean, I do too, but like it was one of those like that's like straight up, and I've been telling a lot of people this. Like that was like before the pandemic. Like the pandemic ruined me. Like I thought my life, like, and it wasn't even like I was afraid to die. I thought like comedy was dead forever, and that was like right at the time where like I was like, I'm going all in with this shit. That's all I'm doing. I had like, and I knew we were moving over here, but like I had stuff like booked through the summer to like kind of move west and like introduce myself before I came and blah, 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 blah. Then like right as soon as we pulled the trigger on it, like that's when it all shut down. So I was like, well, who the fuck am I now without it? And then like you just have to like, you're just a disaster all the time, just like a dick, like all the time, because I don't have like my outlet.
You don't have an identity.
And then like last year, straight up, like when it was like COVID was whatever, because like that's when I was like very like I'm gonna do it regardless. Fuck it, like nobody's gonna stop me from doing this, whatever. But then when like Omicron hit and it was like, oh, we might shut everything down again. Like that's when I was like, all right, I need to like have a life.
That was like the common cold.
Yeah, but like, but you know how like the hype was like, oh, they're gonna start shutting shit down again, and it was like I can't do this again. Like I was afraid to like be heartbroken again, so I was like, fuck it, not doing. Like I'm just not gonna do it. Like if anybody. Like, if somebody asks me to be on a show or, like, somebody emails me, I'll say yes, but I'm not looking for it. And then it was just, like, I did a show with Zoltan Kazis. He was back in town, and I just, like, shot a flyer. Like, hey, I'd love to come see you. If you need an opener, I'll open for you. And he's like, oh, yeah, go. Like, just as, like, a haha, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, like, you can open whatever. And then I did, like, a 10-minute spot. And I was like,
I'm back
fuck
in.
me. Like, this is so fun.
It is so fun.
But it's, like, it's fun with, like when you have a life outside of it. And that's where like I see so many people who are like, and that's been like the hardest thing of like not like cracking into like a new scene, because like whatever, it is what it is, but like just like when you see those people who are like their entire life is revolved around it, and then I'm just like, yes, it's fun, that's why I like doing it, but I'm also like, it's also a job now. Like I'm trying to make money doing it, so I'm gonna go do my time, and then I'm gonna go like live my life.
And I always struggled even talking about doing stand-up, but like I don't give any advice. There's none. But my philosophy on it is like I think the best people, the best comics even now, have their own lives outside of this. Because like for me, that's where I get material. Mm-hmm. I can't constantly just be with the comedy people.
Do you know what drives me nuts more than anything is going to a show, like a legit show, and somebody going, well, I was at this other show, or like this happened at the show that I was just at, and you're like, all right, cool. Like your job.
Oh, in their act?
Yeah. Like
if it's a constant thing, yeah. If it's an actual funny thing, sure.
No, yeah. Like I mean, that's like a setup. But also, wouldn't it be funnier if that happened somewhere else, like not at a show, or if like something legit crazy happened at a show where you're like, I have to make a bit about this, or it like fits into something else. But it's like most people, like I said, like the people that came and watched me at an open mic. Like, they had no idea that just, like, like, they thought it was, like, they keep calling it a show. It's like, no, I need you guys to know that it's an open mic.
Oh,
and
my
that's
God.
Not what
it, like, my friends are like, when's your next show? I'm like, well, I have the open mic on Friday or Wednesday. They're like, we're bringing everyone. I'm like, I don't know if you want to do that.
No, you don't. Like, it's not fun. Like,
because, like, I want them to, when I tell them, I was like, I want you to, I have people at work that I train. Yeah. They're like, we really want to come see you perform. I'm like, well, every Friday I host. And hosting's a little different because, like, you see me constantly. And I like hosting. I actually try and, like, write when I'm hosting with other people's stuff. Not like I'm stealing it, but it's just easy to riff off them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want you to come to an open mic because you're going to watch 30 people. And after you see me, if I do well, great. If I do bad, even worse, though, because now you got 30 other people you got to watch. You forget about what I did, and you're like, oh, that was cool, but the night wasn't fun. Like, I want you to enjoy the whole night.
Yeah, nothing against the high note, but it's a karaoke bar. Like, it's not even, like, so we're doing comedy at a spot where everybody in the crowd wants to sing their own song. So, like, they don't give a shit.
The last 2 weeks, I can say, we've actually been pretty good.
Which is good. Like, I'm not, like, shitting on them. Like, it's, like, I love that they, like, let us do comedy. It's a great place to do it.
Yeah.
But, like, you see, like, a bunch of people, like, half the time, like, the one show that we did where he's like, hey, we got to stop the singing so these assholes can do their show.
Yeah.
And then if you stay through the whole thing, I'll buy you a shot. Like, that's why 7 people stay.
I agree with you wholeheartedly with that. Here's my thing with the high note and Evan. Now, Evan has put so much effort into doing it that he's actually, like, talking to me like, I want to actually people to come see you guys do comedy. Mm-hmm. It's about to put in some serious money for the comics here. It's kind of cool to see. But I agree, there was a point where it's just like the Thursday showcases, you got 6 people there, and he even recognized it was like, this isn't benefiting you or me at all. Like, because it is a karaoke bar, people coming to do that. So taking away that business for them isn't helping. So they're like, oh, why would I even come on a Thursday if there's the people that come once, that one time for karaoke, and they run into comedy are going to think, oh, that happens every Thursday, so he lost them forever.
Yeah.
So I think he's decided like, no, I'm gonna put so much effort into this comedy thing too, because he goes, I have the karaoke market, bringing comedy then too will be great, and if it's like once a month,
well, I think he's very smart
if he
about
packs
it.
the house too, it's gonna be great.
Well, the smart thing that they do about it too is like they know that it's like they don't. I've never felt like pressure to like do super well. Like it's still like a good environment to like work on stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's like it's good for that, and like you're like where it is too. You're gonna get a decent cross section of like insane people, college students.
Yeah, you're loose up there no matter what.
So it's good, but like you see so many spots that do open mics for like a little bit, and like what happens with open mics is they go through like waves of like having people go to them.
Yeah.
So like right now, like the wave is going up for them. I mean, school's coming back, all that other shit. But like in the summer, when you're not losing money, but you're also not making money because
you're just kind of staying open.
You're staying open. You have the same knuckleheads coming in for like whatever their one free drink. They may buy another drink afterwards. Yeah. They might tip the bartenders. It's kind of like, and then like your staff has to listen to bad comedy, which like it's open mic, so most of it's bad. Everybody has good jokes or whatever, but like it's not like you're working at a comedy club where you're seeing people kill every show. So it's like a grind on like your business, and I don't think enough like bar owners or whoever or like people who sell open mics to places like
power through.
Or like they just go into it like, oh, we can bring tons of business to your spot, and it's like you almost just like everybody involved's kind of trying to cash in short term, and then it just kind of loses it when it gets like tough, and then it moves on. But
you kind of have to go through the cycles of it.
You have to, especially if you like because I helped run. It was like one of the longest running ones in Ohio, and I just like helped him book it every once in a while. Like I wasn't really involved with it. Like I tried to keep it going right before COVID, and there would just be times like we're in a basement.
Yeah.
Like it's just the comics on the show. And then there'd be like the next week, that whole place would be just like packed out. Like they didn't have enough beer for everybody down there. And then for like 3 weeks, it'd just be like dead. And you're just like, you're holding on for that one night where everybody shows up.
When you don't have the name to go behind it, it's hard to keep something like that busy. Mm-hmm. So like think of like a college bar. Or any like college campus. I think every college campus has like 1 to 2 bars that like they're going to be busy. Mm-hmm. But every once in a while some word gets around. You're like, you know what? Let's go here tonight. Yeah. And that place is just stupid packed that night. That's kind of what this is. Like every once in a while the word is like, oh, this was fun. Let's try it next week. And it's like kind of half crowded. And like, oh, it dies down. And then it's just like, it's that cycle. Like every once in a while someone gets the itch to do something different. And
well, especially now if you think about it, like, so like I started doing comedy in a college town. So like people think like, oh, kids are like afraid to like, it's like, no, it's just got to be funny. Like if you're going to like play with certain subjects, like they've got to be funny. They've got to be nuanced. Like you've got to like get everybody along with you. But like now, like you just say, just like, at that showcase when I was like, how do we feel about Nazis? Just saying the word. Like I remember just saying that, like the set was going well. Yeah. Just saying the word, like just flipped a switch. Like it didn't matter like that you were going to make fun of them. Yeah. That like obviously it's just like a ridiculous question to ask. Like, obviously everybody hates them. And then like you just like just that word like shuts it. And that's like, it's a societal thing. But if you just think, like, if somebody was partially paying attention to that, and I say the word Nazi, then all of a sudden they go, oh, this is the guy that talks about Nazis. Yeah. And, like, that's the thing that sticks, not, like, the other. So you almost have to, like, pay attention to that, too, because, like, that'll get, like, that, oh, they talk, and, like, Kent, where I was, like, for a while, people were like, this is where people work out rape jokes. And it's like, no, there was just one guy who was obsessed with rape jokes who doesn't even do comedy anymore. Yeah. 5 years ago, he did this. And, like, you get that stink sometimes.
It's also a product of, like, I don't know what bars you're doing at, but if you go somewhere for, like, I want to go listen to comedy tonight, your mind's already open. You're like, comics are going to talk about some weird shit. But if you're going to karaoke and then a random schmuck gets on stage and goes, "What about the Nazis?" You're like, "Where the fuck are we?"
And that's like I always love, and it's fun, like comedy is such a fun. I always say that comedy is like country music now. Like everybody had like there's so many niche parts of it where like you could like there are people. Like, we do comedy, but there are people selling out rooms that we don't know exist.
Exactly.
Because they're in that, like, Charlie Barron's sells out. Like, there's probably somebody
Dude, he sold out the State Fair.
Sold out the goddamn State Fair.
Avery took me backstage for the performance. Dude, he did so fucking well.
But, like, that's wild. And so, like, if you ask somebody in New York, and I know that people know Charlie and all that stuff, like, so he's not a great example, but, like, somebody like that, like the fucking JP Sears guy that comes up to, like, Skyline, and he does, like, that hippie guy on Facebook, he,
No clue.
sells out every time he goes somewhere. So, like, I remember, because that was Omicron, shut down, like, they did the capacity limits at Skyline. Dude sold out 8 shows, completely sold them out at Skyline. Then they cut the capacity down to 50, and he was just like, it's not worth it for me to come now with 50 people.
What was the capacity before?
I mean, I think that room holds at least 200.
Oh, damn.
So, I mean, he's selling, I mean, what's 8 times 200? 1,600 people at $20 a pop. Like, I'm assuming he's got a door deal. Like, so...
Yeah.
Like, that's stupid cash, where that instantly gets cut into a quarter of that. But, like, so, like, there's people like that all over. But if you get into, like, that weird, like, niche thing, then you're going to get lost in the sauce, too. And it's, I forget what, like, the original part of it is, but, like, you can, if somebody, like, goes to a comedy show, like, they're going to go see karaoke, and you'll see people, like, you'll see comedians be like, oh, it's so funny that, like, we're going to ruin this bar's night because they didn't even know it's comedy. It's like, no, you just made these people think that all comedy sucks when there's legitimately something for these people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's, and it's just, like, you just ruin it. As soon as you, like, when I work at a coffee shop, and, like, like, all the stereotypes of coffee shop people are true. Like, it's, like, Island of Misfit Toys. There's a bunch of, like, everybody's, like, gay or lesbian or, like, bi or whatever. Like, so, like...
Sorority girl doing homework.
Sorority, like, everything. Like, like, people, we don't like a lot of people. Like, just, like, we're snobby, but, like, we're, like, overly accepting of, like, the misfits, all that. And as soon as I was like, oh, I do comedy, like, a lot of people are like, oh. And it's like, no, like, it's not, I'm not up here just telling you not to get vaccinated.
Exactly.
Like,
at the end of the day, people need to realize we're genuinely just trying to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this because I like having fun up there.
Yeah.
And it should be fun for everyone. Now, not everyone is good at it.
No.
And even the good people have bad days. But it genuinely is like, I do, like you said, I'm not trying to be like, oh, you know what, Rogan is the ruler.
Yeah.
Don't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And then I do a Trump impersonation and then tell you the Nazis are
day.
cool. Yeah, like, that's not what that is. Like, everyone's got different brands. You can see it in every open mic scene. Everyone has a different brand. And I think there is someone for everyone, too.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have more than others, though.
Well, and that's what, like, and it's something that I tried, and it's, like, I don't sit down and be like, what will girl age 19 to 28 think of this? But, like, I, like, tried to think of, because I love watching, like, female comedians right now, because it's just, like, I've seen so many dick jokes, but, like, to see a woman do it, it's the other side of a dick joke.
Yeah.
Like, they just... inherently wake up with, like, a point of view I've never seen before. So I think that's a lot more fun because, like, most of these jokes, like, you've seen, like, the trope and you're like, oh, I knew that, like, I know that this is
where
coming.
It's going. Yeah.
Right. But, like, even if it's just, like, a dumb, like, pussy, sex, period, penis, like, whatever, like, you want to say about female comedy and, like, the downside of it, like, it's something that I have no knowledge about.
It's good for, like, just anyone writing, watch both. Just to watch other people do it, simply for the other point of view, because then it trains your mind to look at the other point of view.
And so when I'm, like, writing something and I think it's funny, like, I'll just, like, I'll, like, write it out and I'll be like, all right, now what does, like, I want somebody's girlfriend to like that joke or somebody's, like, daughter that's at the show. Like, I don't, because if you think about it, dudes will go to comedy shows by themselves.
Yeah.
And it's kind of how I've, like, tricked myself into it. Dudes will go to comedy shows. they'll bring their girlfriend, but their girlfriend's not having a good time, and that's usually when they cause a problem. But if you show up and like chicks dig you at your comedy show, and not even like, oh, I want to like bang the comedian, like they like your comedy. Yeah. I saw it with Dustin Nickerson when I just worked with him. Like they'll come up and they'll be like, oh, I had to bring my boyfriend. Instead of 1 ticket, that's 2 tickets.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he's not going to be an asshole most of the time because like whatever. So like I've almost thought about it because like I know that we're not supposed to believe that men and women are that different, but like dude humor's different. Like
absolutely.
Yeah, like so like if I'm sitting here chopping it up with you, that's going to be different than like if your girl was here or my girlfriend was here. We're going to act a little differently. So like that's what I try to write around is like what is like somebody's girlfriend going to think about this joke? Are they like even like I have a dick joke, but it took me so long to write a dick joke because I didn't want to like get into a dick joke. But this was like, oh, how ridiculous! Like this dude, like his girlfriend told him his dick was big.
Yeah,
like just to like pump up. Yeah, like to pump up his ego. Yeah. And it's like somebody's girlfriend gonna be like, oh yeah, like that.
I've
like,
done that.
Right, yeah. And you're just like, all right, now I've got 2 people instead of just like
sides.
the one. And so like I'll watch. I don't steal anything from them, but like I'll watch female comedians and be like, oh. I can take this like stupid joke that I have that's like I don't know, like I can't like nail one of my jokes down, but like oh, the one like I have like that mask joke about like how girls were like selling their underwear online.
Yeah.
And so like I just was like I added like a little tag to it. I'll be like, "Oh, like you know your friend that runs an Etsy store? Like this is the one that she like this is what she does on the side and doesn't tell you about." Like and then like that gets like you'll get dudes who are like weird and creepy, like they know what it is. But then you like get the chicks who like know their friends that run it. Like then you get them in too. And you're like now everybody's in.
That's kind of like I have one where and I just did it in Madison, but where I have like my buddy can't sext, or he had like a instance where he just like tried sexting and like a girl sent him a pic and he had the most outrageous response, and I was like, if you don't find this funny or stupid, let me switch the roles real quick. And then like a girl getting a dick pic instead of a guy getting a nude. And then it's like, all right, everyone's received a picture before, so it's like they both get it. No, I get it. Yeah,
and then you bring everybody in because like I think that like so many people are so ready to be defensive now.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because they want to like, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like so many people have like abused. I don't want to be like social justice warrior right here, but like they've abused like what their platform, what they're saying, and like in search of a laugh, yes, but they also like want to push like whatever stupid agenda they have, instead of. And I'll circle back to it, but I had to talk to this guy about Dave Chappelle on like why I don't think he's funny anymore, because like I would be so pissed if I paid $100 a ticket to go see him and he's talking about his Netflix contract. Like, could you fucking believe that? Like paying $200, parking, getting a babysitter, and then he's talking about like Netflix or like trans people. Like, be funny. Like, that's all I want you to do. So like people are afraid of like, what do you think about Nazis? They think that like some sort of like, oh, pro-Nazi, I'm being ironic, but like you guys just don't get it because I'm a stand-up comedian, joke's coming. It's like, no, I want to make fun of Nazis with you. Like, that's why I want you like invested. Like, that's why I'll lead with that like dumb question. I want you to be like mad and be like, yeah, see, this is why they're ridiculous though, and like get you in on that. But like if you start with like, what do you think about Nazis? And then you're just like, I think they're all right. like that's what they're almost expecting for you to do. And that's why like people won't jump onto it. It's like they're so afraid of like jumping on a train. And that's why I'll do that like mass joke right off the rip and just be like, see, this is a stupid joke. Like, none of this means anything. My whole, like, you're not going to learn a goddamn thing during my set. No. I don't want you to learn anything. I want you to laugh. I don't even care if you remember a joke. I want you to just remember laughing. Like, I don't want you to have to think about writing something down.
I want you to laugh. I don't want you to come away thinking, oh, these are my legit opinions on everything. It's so dumb.
And that's, like, I used to do political jokes like a lot because I like went to school for political science and was like, I
don't do a single one because I know nothing about politics.
And that's almost fun. Like, and now it's fun to like do like the anti-political joke of like, and I'll be like, hey man, like I'll tell a joke that's like about like anti-cops or something because like fuck the cops, whatever, but like it'll pop up and then like people will be like, ooh, and I'll be like, don't worry about it, I'm on your team, I voted for whoever you voted for. You pay me enough money, like fuck it, I don't like I don't give a shit. And like you just set that bar though, Like, hey, it's not one of those everybody's gonna get it, but it's like you let them know, like,
no,
hey,
and not everyone's gonna get every joke, and not everyone's gonna like every joke,
or be like, I'm gonna like make fun of every group here, like a Andrew Schultz kind of like every like ethnicity is gonna get
He does a great job.
He does a good job of hitting everybody.
Yeah.
But like then you have to like be the I hit everybody guy. Where like I just want to be like okay, he's just here for giggles. Like it's not like serious. We're gonna move on. Like if I don't like something, all right, we'll go to the next track. Like it's not the end of the world.
That's good. Dude, I think did you watch his new special?
I did not.
It was good. It was, and I'm a fan of his.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best ones I've seen in a long time.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's very well written. He does hit everyone. I'm a fan of crowd work, so like when he can make things flow from, you can tell, like it's the one thing that sucks about starting to do comedy is you can tell when a bit starts.
Yeah.
So like before, it's like in my head, I used to think growing up, I would watch like Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall and like the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and I would like on Netflix, and I literally thought they just went on stage and just started talking.
It stopped me from doing comedy for the longest time.
I was like, oh, how did you just think to say all that? I didn't know they were bits. And as you start doing it, you can tell like transitions, but then you can also tell what's actually crowd work.
Yeah.
And ones he's kind of done before that apply to other people, but to like go from bit to someone he met that instant to bit seamlessly was outstanding.
Have you seen Patrice O'Neal, Elephant in the Room?
I have not. I really want to.
That's it's hard to find anywhere, but that's like the first one where like, yes, crowd work's fun. It's cool to do. I like it. I think posting crowd work videos is ruining comedy right now because like people think that's what the show is like you show up and you do it, whatever. Like if it's a crowd work show, go for it. If it happens organically, great. Like that's what crowd work's for. But like those whole like, I'm going to post it because I know this is going to get clicks because it's outrageous. It's like, fuck, people think that's what a comedy show is. But, like, a lot of those are so canned, too. It's like improv. Like, people think that improv's right off the top of your dome.
No, they have those banked.
Yeah, like, it's all banked. It's all there. But it's also, like, that's why it took, as soon as I found out, like, you had to write an act for stand-up. Yeah. Like, I was going to try to do stand-up at 19. I didn't do stand-up until 24 because I found out you had to do an act. And I was
that's when I started, 24.
Yeah. I was like, nope, not doing it. Like, there's no way I could write an act. Like, could I come up with, like, a quip here or there? Sure. Like, will it be funny? Who knows? But, like, there's no way.
It is nice to know, like, to see the progression. Like, I remember when I started, and I was like, I was so pumped I even did it. Like, the dopamine rush was through the roof. And that's, like, right there, I was like, I know this is what I want to do. Is when you get, I've never had that rush. I went in my car and I screamed. I was like, fuck yes.
Like, the shakes after you, like the adrenaline shakes?
Literally, I could have done anything. I could have done anything. Yeah. I was like, I could go 80 down to 15, and I'd be like, I'll swerve past everyone. Yeah. On the thing. I'm like, I'm going to go drink a gallon of booze, and I'm going to be totally fine. Yeah. Like, this is going to be great. Where was I going with this? But to see the progression, like, I was like, there's no way I saw someone do well. Like, someone like Tan or whatever, who's doing very well right now. And, by the way, Tan, congrats on being engaged. But he...
Mazel tov.
Yeah, Mazel tov. I'm Catholic.
I'm Lutheran, but I don't know.
Like looking back at it now, I'm like, holy! I don't think I've made progress, but compared to the first 3 months, night and day.
That's why, like,
not like shaking when I grab the microphone.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I audio record every set that I do. I missed one last month, and it pissed me off so bad, and because it was actually like
I should start at least doing the audio recordings.
People, like, you're supposed to video record every time, so you see what's going on, and like you can post it for content and all that shit. But like, I'm already like scatterbrained enough. I don't need one more thing to do before set. But like, I just throw it on my phone, put it in my pocket. When I'm off stage, I cut it out. And then, like, if I have a good set, I'll, like, listen to it on the way home. Yeah. If I have a set that, like, I felt was, like, good, but, like, didn't get a good reaction, I'll listen to it again, and I'll be like, that's where I lost it. Yeah. Or if I have, like, will take, like, after this week, I might not do a mic this week. But, like, next week I have a bunch of shows that I got to do, and I'll have to, like, I'll be, like, nervous for it. And I'll just, like, go back and I'll be like, the Eurogyro open mic from 2019 and I have it in my phone and I'll play it and I'll be like, okay, that guy's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm that guy. Like,
exactly.
That
is
it's
nice.
a good thing to have on there.
It's nice. I started getting clips from like Madison and Comedy on State and whatnot, just because they look good.
Yeah.
It's better than like, so I could post them if I wanted to. I should be recording more, just like what you for your purpose, just to look back on them. But it is nice to go look at that and be like, okay, I thought I did really well. And you listen to the crowd and like, oh, I did do really well. But I'm like, I could have done so much better if I didn't look like this. If I didn't, it's nice.
Well, and like what you're saying about like that progress too is I've got 90% of the mics that I've ever done, like whether it's on my phone or like banked up.
How much storage do you have on your phone?
I mean, it's what it is. It's just on the, and I'll like take it off of it every once in a while. Like I thought I was gonna trade my phone in, so I just like transferred it all to my computer and like threw it in.
Smart, yeah.
So like I'll do that from time to time, but like, and it's one of those things that I do all the time is like, if I'm in a slog where it's just like nobody's emailing me back, like I only made X amount of dollars this month, blah blah blah, and I'd be like, I remember the first time I got paid to do this shit, like, and it's just like, and that was like the biggest thing, like, and it's just one of those fun like, and I get like, and it's earnest, so like I don't feel bad about it, but I think it could be annoying to outside people of like a lot of things I post is to like remind me that like, yeah, today sucks or today was a good day.
Yeah.
But like in 3 days, I know that it's going to be terrible and I'm going to hate comedy and I'm going to want to quit again. And then I'll look back and be like, oh, no, I just did that super cool thing.
Yeah.
Like you're just like doing this, doing open mics regularly, hosting an open mic every Friday. Like you're living somebody's dream.
Absolutely.
Like
you were living your dream 3 months ago.
And that's like where I'm taking that next step of like, I'm living somebody's dream, but I'm living my dream that I'd thought about when I'm like zoning off in class, thinking about fucking Blue Collar Comedy Tour, thinking about like Chris Rock, thinking about fucking Chad Zumach, who was like a radio host in Cleveland and got like a little bit of heat. Like I like think, and I've done shows with like, I know Chad Zumach. Like I know like so many places that I've like done shows at, I'll be like, I've paid money to watch this, like somebody do comedy here. Yeah. And now this fucking place is paying me. Like, it's wild.
It's crazy. It's also one of those things where, like, that's why it's nice to see people, even in those niche markets, sell out a show because then you know it's possible. Like, when Avery brought me backstage for the Charlie Barron's this past Wednesday, like, him and I were sitting there. I was like, dude, how cool. Like, he's from here. Yeah. Okay. We do open mics with his younger brother.
And Charlie will come out to him every once
in a while.
Exactly.
And he was such a nice guy. I mean, I barely talked to him, but such a nice guy. And it's just like, you're sitting there, I'm like, and this is all just Wisconsin people. Yeah. So all 8,000, like, it's possible. Because you see stuff like on Netflix, like, there's no way I ever sell out a theater. And again, that's going to be so hard to do. But to see even someone sell out a room of 200 people, I'm like, this is dope.
The math that I've done in my head is there's, 350 million people in this country, let's just say rounded. If you get 1% of those people, that's 3.5 million people.
Yeah.
Get them to spend $1 per year on your comedy, you're
doing great.
You're set forever.
Dude, you could have 0.5%.
Yeah, but like let's say 1% fucks with you. And that's even like, all right, cool. Like, and that's, you'd never want to like give the wrong person that, like, if everybody hates you, like you can still do something right. Like you don't want to give the wrong person that. And like that's where it's like that weird, like, you have to be like delusional to do this shit, but like,
oh, you do.
But you also have to like I'm my biggest critic. Like
every comic is their biggest critic.
I got an email that was like, "Hey, please stop sending me avails." I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna work there again," because like, so I'm like, "Fuck, why am I so annoying?" But it's like I just don't need to send it every week. But like, so if you think that you're annoyed by me, like, what do you think? I have to live with me all the time.
Exactly.
So like,
I love that. Like, I used to have friends in college be like, "I wish I could just be in your head for a day." I go, "No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't want to be in anyone's head for a day."
But like, I see people every once in a while that are just like, so, like, you'll see it in comedy from time to time where they just like walk up and they'll just like do their set and it'll be like ass. It'll just be completely terrible.
Yeah.
But like they do it all the time and they're like, hey, how do I get a hosting gig here? And you're just like, but who's to tell that person who's wrong? Because like the switch might flip.
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen it 1,000 times.
I had that yesterday.
But like, I'm sure we're talking about the same person.
Probably.
but like, but you know, like, but who's to say that person's wrong? Because like you're one, like, it's one word, literally one word away, or you're leaving your fucking clipboard on the fucking table. Like you're like, okay, so yes, but like, but you know what I mean? like that's the, if you like memorize, like if you just gave that up. He's very nice, and I like him as a person.
Oh, great. Okay, sorry. Continue.
But you know what I'm saying? Is like, you have to be that delusional.
Dude, I'm fighting tears right now.
if I could channel that energy into like anything else, like this is like, I know comedy's like
you do need to be that aggressive.
Yes. Like if I could,
and I'm learning that too. Like I'm asking other people. Like I ask you questions all the time because you're touring or you're going on the road. I'm like, but I was like, hey, you've been doing way more shows than I have. What have you been doing? Because I want to do more.
Well, and that's like I don't feel bad. I'll email people 100 times. Like I got that email and I was like, no, that means it's working. He's getting my emails now. Now I'm on his radar. He may be annoyed by me now, but at some point he'll be like, oh, what's this fucking asshole doing?
Even like, hey, we need someone. Fuck, he's available. Yeah. And then you do well. It's like, oh shit. I shouldn't have been an asshole.
It's sales. That's all it is. And like I worked 1,000 sales jobs and I was bad at them because I'd be so afraid to be like, hey, do you want to buy this now? Maybe you didn't want to buy it last week, but do you want to buy it now? Like, and then just like that I would rather have a, hey, quit fucking emailing me so much than not getting an email
response,
back.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, no, you can say it better. I'd rather get a response than nothing. Like if you get left on red or something like that, like just tell me no.
Just tell me no.
Just tell me no.
That's your job, is to tell me yes or no.
Exactly.
And right now it's a no. Fine.
No, that's I think my next battle is. I mean, my first battle was like make someone laugh once, and then as you grow and you kind of realize like who you are, I still am. I mean, I'm brand new. Yeah. And then it's realizing, okay, how else do I get booked? I remember talking to Devin. He's like, hey, you should send so-and-so videos of you doing it. I think you could easily get booked on this. I go, is that how?
Yeah, that's all it is.
He goes, yeah. I go, I thought they just asked you.
No.
And he goes, no. I'm like, okay. Like, sometimes they might, but, like, you got to show initiative that you want to do it. Because, like, there are people you can tell that go up there, they're just like, I'm just kind of doing this. And then wouldn't take it seriously on an actual show that they're paying to have someone come perform.
Well, and that's what, like, it's so fun to, like, see people like the person we were talking about be like, or I've seen other people, like, people have stopped booking me. Like, okay, when's the last time you sent him an email? When's the last time you just texted him to be like, and I always feel weird about it. Like if I Brandon White, I'll shoot him like he's somebody that I'm buddies with at a mic. Yeah. That I only talk to. Like we're not like best friends, but like we talk at mics, whatever. And I'll like shoot him a message and be like, hey man, just want to let you know that I do like yes we hang out at mics and you see me do comedy, but I also want to do your show.
Exactly.
And so many people will be like, oh yeah, obviously. Like I don't know.
And I think even as someone who puts on a show, you want to hear that someone wants to do your show because that means you're doing well for your shows.
Yeah. That means that somebody else, like fucking Red Room Comedy Club down in Chicago, which you should send stuff to, you get on. It's like I just saw it on Instagram, and I was like, oh, this is a cool spot to get your picture taken on Instagram. So I shot him an email, and I've worked there a couple times, and you're just like...
I need to get your email list.
Yeah, I think... I got to add you to it. But like it's... I'll give it away. And that's the other... Like, I don't know why it's got to be such a fucking secret. Like, there's so many goddamn... Like, it's... You send emails, you do comedy,
it's a little competition between people, because they're like, I want that show.
But they're going to book you...
I'm going to start emailing everyone you email, and they're like, fine. Are you friends with Ray?
Like, but it's also like, okay, they're going to book you once every 3-4 months, let's say, so that's 3 to 4 times a year.
That's 3 more shows than you were going to get if you didn't email
But there's
anyone.
that, but also... How many? There's 52 weeks. There's 49 other weeks of the year that they're not going to book me. Yeah. Why am I so worried about you getting booked one of those weeks?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Also, you don't want to perform the same place every weekend.
No. And it's like, yes, I'll send
Unless
it.
you got like a residency in Vegas. And
I'll send my shit to Skyline. I'll send my shit to like all those bark clubs like Louisville, Fort Wayne. I'll send it to them all the time because like fuck it, I'll work there every weekend. I don't give a shit. I'll come up with it. I'll find a way to come up with new 10 because I want to get paid money, and they paid pretty decent, and like they're very cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I'll work those every week, but I'm not trying to like go to Red Room every single week because I don't want to drive to Chicago.
I hate
but like
to Chicago.
That's cool. I like it.
It's not. I mean, you're about to drive the country. We didn't wrap this up. And you got to get. Are you going to the mic?
No. I'm gonna go home and eat instead.
I gotta eat too. I have one. I always do one question at the end. It's a serious one, kind of.
Ooh.
Kinda. Like I had questions like
Yes, I will leave my girlfriend in my life for Selena Gomez right now if she sees this.
I've questions like when I started this, like I wanted to do comedy before I turned 25. So I was like, I would ask my friends like, hey, what's one thing you want to do before your next career that you can do but you've been putting off? That's not the question.
Okay.
This question is like, I'll give you two. One is a French fry dry, and two, what's your meaning of life?
What's a French fry dry?
Is a French fry dry?
I mean, we can do two. We can do both.
Yeah. I don't think a French fry is dry, but I'm not saying it's wet either.
Well, fried, it's cooked in a liquid, so it's got a liquid in it. So I guess it's like
a saltine is dry. You don't need water after a fry like you need water after a saltine.
Yeah, but French fries are better with ketchup, and is it because it brings more liquid to it?
But is ketchup wet? Because it's not a liquid, is it?
Well, that's the other thing. Somebody was like, is water wet? And it's like, no, water makes things wet. And so, like, now we're just, like, in some weird... Like, I like woo-woo bullshit, spiritual shit, but now we're, like, in, like, a one-hand clapping range. I think I'll go with no, that they're not dry because it's cooked in a liquid, so it's going to get wet.
Cool.
But the meaning of life, I honestly think, is to just, like... is to be, like, peaceful and be happy. Like, if you can... and be happy without making other people unhappy, and like spreading warmth and happiness. So like if you can, like, sometimes you have to be an asshole, but you don't want to do it all the time. And it's something for like a long time I was just like, nobody's gonna take me seriously if I'm nice to everybody, or like nobody's gonna take me seriously if I'm like giggly and happy and doing all this other shit. Or if I post my monthly stats, like, what are other comedians going to think of me? I post that shit just to be like, no, this is what I did. This is, like, for me 10 years ago. This is for some knucklehead who's, like, sitting at home and they're like, how do I make $1? And it's like, if he stumbled into, like, $300 this month doing stand-up, I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think he's funny. Like, and I don't even care if people think I'm funny.
Yeah.
I know I am. But, like, I don't care if they think I am. But yeah, it's just, I think it's like spreading happiness and joy without taking it away from too many people. And I don't think enough people understand that that's something that you can do.
I like it.
Yeah.
Simple.
It'll change. Ask me in a year.
Yeah. So we fuck everyone.
Yeah. You're catching me right before vacation.
Oh. Hey, you're in a good mood.
There's like I know
I'll catch you after vacation. You want to do another one? We're like, fuck this shit.
There's a podcast that if Corey ever releases it, I'm gonna sound like the biggest asshole. But I found like we were way too high, and I had like a sinus infection. Yeah. We did it in the recording of the high note in like the basement.
Oh, I did one with Avery down there.
And like what, like, so that's already in a spot where you're like, fuck everything.
Exactly. And dude, so, you're in a sex dungeon.
Dude, and it was just like I did comedy, worked, did comedy again, then like worked again, then went and did this fucking podcast. And I was just like in a rotten mood. And I turned out to be sick. I just thought like I was like had allergies. Like,
I just want to be at home.
And I'm just like motherfucker and everybody. And I'm like, hey man, can we not like let that out? Like that's just me in a bad mood.
Does he still do that podcast?
Fuck if I know.
I'll have to look it up. All right, buddy. Thank you for doing this.
No, thanks for having me.
I'm going to end it now.
Word.